Locked and loaded, people, and in full effect, you're rocking and rolling right now on the hottest show in the streets on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. We're back at you from the home location. Got rain going on outside, crazy weather happening. You guys be safe out there traveling on the road. But coming to you from the home location right now, you smash the like button. You hit that thumbs up. You smash the like button. Go crazy in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you are locked on to the number one show for all things Bama football coverage. That daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily. Super Chat Go, $100 right there. We appreciate that from all of you. We're getting into all of your comments. We're taking as many as we can here on tonight's show, getting closer and closer to SEC Media Days. That will be July 15th through the 18th at the Omni Hotel in Dallas, Texas. Alabama, Kalen DeBoer will speak on Wednesday. I believe the 17th, that Wednesday, will be the Crimson Tide's Day. Fall camp for your Alabama Crimson Tide will be on July 31st. That will be a Wednesday. That Tuesday, July 30th, the players report to camp. So we're getting closer, guys, to football season. Everybody's excited, pumped up, full of energy, trying to see what can this year's Alabama team do. After 3 years of not getting a national championship, what can this team provide? What can this team give you, the fans, to get back to a national championship and finish the job? But we're going to start things off by getting into the comment section right here on the show. We got my man Don Parker, DP. Good evening and roll tide, everyone. Appreciate you, Don Parker, helping us out here on the show. We got my man Roll Tide and Rise Up with a Roll Tide family. Roll Tide and Rise Up. We appreciate that. Be jamming in here saying, yo, Roll Tide and Rise Up, RTR. Appreciate be jamming. We got Lakeith Williams with the Roll Tide rolling here. Appreciate Lakeith helping us out here on the show. We got back with Roll Tide and Rise Up. We are getting closer to kickoff, y'all. Alabama Nation, you are. August 31st, Bryant-Denny, first game of the season between Alabama and Western Kentucky. But fall camp begins this month on the 31st. Morning practice, going to be exciting right there. B. Jammin writes in, Lank, there it is, Lank 2.0. Let's go get it this year. Alabama trying to get that done with Jalen Milroe and company, led by Kalen DeBoer as the head coach. We got here this next comment. Let's see if we can pull it up here. We got it coming from Joseph Higginbottom. Joseph Higginbottom with Roll Tide Roll. Appreciate Joseph right there. Appreciate that. Roll Tide and Rise Up. See, Stephen is sitting downtown in the skyscraper. That's where I am. Downtown here in the skyscraper, baby. Hey, providing you Alabama content from the skyscraper. Gotta love this view here from the skyscraper, giving you guys your Bama football coverage. But it's an exciting time right now. We're at the point where, like I mentioned, SEC Media Days, a couple of weeks away. You got fall camp starting the latter part of this month. The first game of the season, August 31st. Going to be incredible here. Don Parker writes in, I'm going to keep my comments on the topics tonight. However, if you follow soccer, the Euro Cup and the Copa America have had some fantastic matches. Spain versus Germany was epic. Spain versus Germany, Don, was really good. That was really good. That one was really good. So I've been enjoying the Euro Cup myself. Spain versus Germany was a very good matchup right there. Christian Hughes writes in, Roll Tide, Stephen M, kickoff. Can't come quick enough. It'll be here, Christian. It'll be here before we know it. August 31st, Bama versus Western Kentucky. You got SEC Media Days coming up here in the next couple of weeks. You got fall camp coming up here in the next few weeks. I know yours truly, I look to be in Dallas, Texas for the SEC Media Days. We will see how all of that sort of pans out there. But You guys continue getting your thoughts into the show. Roll Tide and Rise Up, shouting you out there, Christian, in the chat line. But we begin with topic number one of the conversation, that being, when you look at fall camp, there are quite a few position battles up for grabs. This is the time of year where we get a first-hand look at who will win these positions, whether they be offensive line, wide receiver, defensive line, defensive secondary, tight end. There are quite a few positions here where this Alabama team is concerned where starting spots are up for grabs. And this is the time of year in fall camp where we get the opportunity to decipher who are going to win these jobs, which players are going to rise up to the occasion, take these spots, and show you as the Alabama football fan base that they can get this thing done. So to start this off, we look at both offensive tackle positions, left tackle and right tackle. Who takes these two spots here for Alabama football? The tie is deep at both tackle positions. They have guys that can play in both spots. Now, thankfully, for Alabama's offensive line, your interior play, guard, center, guard, is going to be big time. When you look at Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts, two massive human beings at left guard and right guard. They're going to hold down both of those two spots. And then at center, you got Parker Browsford, a transfer from Washington, who allowed just one sack last year of Michael Penix Jr. and also helped Washington win the Joe Moore Award. The Huskies winning a Pac-12 championship last season and got to the college football playoff national title game. So your guard, center, guard, that's intact. But who takes over? Who lines up? Who starts, emerges at both offensive tackle positions? I'm going to go Caden Proctor and Wilkin Formby. Caden Proctor at left tackle, Wilkin Formby at right tackle. Caden Proctor, we know the story, came as a five-star from Iowa in the 2023 class at 6'7", 360 pounds. Of his past season, was made the freshman all-SEC team, started all 14 games at left tackle, struggled at first, but got better as the season went on, helping Alabama to an SEC championship and getting it into the college football playoff. Now, of course, Proctor made the move, and of course, you can't really blame him too much, because when Nick Saban made the decision to retire on January 10th, it shocked everybody, including myself. It shocked a lot of people. So even though we as consumers of Tide football didn't like it when Caden Proctor at first immediately jumped ship to go back home to Iowa to see if home would be better suited than Tuscaloosa, when you really dive into it, you can't really get too upset due to the fact that when Saban made the decision to retire, it shocked everybody. I mean, you had several players that hit the portal. You had several players that jumped ship. But the saving grace for Proctor was he caught on quickly. I made a mistake. He caught on quickly. I moved too soon. I moved too fast. I didn't give it an opportunity to see who the next coach would be. I didn't give the next coach a chance to come in here, hear out his philosophy, hear out his viewpoint, hear out what he wants to do. And Proctor keeping those relationships with Tyler Booker, with Jaden Roberts, with other guys on the offensive line, and those guys being able to tell him, look, Proctor, you didn't wait. You didn't take the time and wait. And for Proctor to see where he went wrong, owned up to where he went wrong, and be able to come back to make that return for Tuscaloosa, that was big for Caden Proctor. We saw him at the Alabama spring game in Tuscaloosa. He was right there cheering on his guys, cheering on his the Alabama teammates there, and later made the decision to come back to Tuscaloosa, and has been so grateful to be back in here. According to Chris Kapovich, Alabama's offensive line coach, he's getting after it in the weight room, getting after it on the field, getting after it in the film room, Yes, when he first got back, they worked with Proctor more so with the twos, but he's also gotten reps with the ones as well. They've been moving guys around in the summer, but I think Caden Proctor is going to be the starting left tackle. I think he will start at left tackle. He's dropped some weight. He's been extremely focused on becoming an elite offensive lineman. I think Caden Proctor grabs that spot back there at left tackle. So at right tackle, I got Wilkin Formby. Yes, Elijah Pritchett is entering his third year, redshirt sophomore from Columbus, Georgia, by the way of Carver High School. Yes, Elijah Pritchett came in at 6'6", 312 pounds, former five-star. Former four-star, excuse me. I get it that he's got 15 games of experience under his belt. He greatly improved this past spring of the ability to take on those speed edge rushers, whether they are defensive ends or outside linebackers. However, Wilkin Formby, when you talk about that 2023 recruiting class, people are high on Proctor, as they should be. But Formby was arguably the most technically sound offensive tackle in that 2023 class. And here's a guy at 6'7", 320 pounds, by the way of Northridge High School in Tuscaloosa, who had a big-time spring. Formby had a great spring. You talk about phenomenal in pass protection, really strong run blocker, but in pass pro, I had people vetted within this program tell me Formby is your best option. You look at pass pro. When you talk about sticking defensive ends, outside linebackers, showing up in pass protection, giving your quarterback time to throw the ball out the pocket, as well as opening up opportunities for backs in the run game, Formby is your best option. That's what I was told there. So those would be my two offensive tackles, Proctor, Formby, and you would have Pritchett as the backup at both spots. That's how I would see it. Proctor and Formby as your two starters, with Pritchett being the backup there at both spots. But we're going to take our first break here on the show on a Friday. Don't touch that dial, folks. When we get back, we go to the comment section. We take your comments. Who would you have as the starting two offensive tackles? How are you feeling when you look at SEC media coming up, fall camp coming, the regular season coming? We're taking your comments right after this. But first, a word here from our guys at Alumni Hall. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. Absolutely, our partners right there, Alumni Hall. Check them out in Tuscaloosa, Midtown Village. Get you that gear, the keychains, all of your stuff to rep that Bama at Alumni Hall. Check out those guys right there. But we get to your comments right here on the show. We start off here with Faith. We got Faith Thomas writing in, Bama baby from Los Angeles, not Lower Alabama. I only watch soccer, a.k.a. association football, to learn the anthems. I don't know as an Olympics baby. I'm waiting for Paris in a few weeks. Now, I'm excited for the Olympics too, Faith. I'm excited. I want to see what can Team USA do in these Olympics. Basketball, soccer, the whole nine. What can Team USA do in these Olympics? So I'm going to have my eyes on that. Roll Tide and Rise Up says, Don Parker. Don, I'm trying to get into soccer, trying to understand the rules here. I mean, I've enjoyed watching the women's Team USA team. Like, I enjoyed watching Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe, Trinity Rodman, those girls get after it. So, and I enjoy watching the guys' team too. So, World Cup, I'm preparing myself for it. I'm getting myself in the character for the World Cup. So, that's going to be exciting to watch. That's going to be highly entertaining to watch there. Let's see here. Don Parker writes back in. Steven, any news on off-season conditioning and body transformations? Well, right now, body transformations, you have Tyler Booker's dropped 25 or 30 pounds. He's gone from 355 to 330. Tim Keenan is now down to 305. So those two, most definitely. I think Jaheim Otis is now down officially to 315. That's another transformation right there. So those three guys, Booker, Keenan, Jaheim Otis. Ryan Williams has put on some muscle in the offseason program. He looks like he's gotten thicker. So that's big there for him. But those just a few of the guys they're done in terms of offseason conditioning and body transformations. But the guys have been going through the conditioning program extremely well. David Ballou is putting it on these guys with the weight training, with the conditioning, making sure that these guys are eating the proper meal, having the proper diet. It's highly important. So we're going to see all of these guys July 31st, day one of fall camp. We continue here with Joseph Higginbottom. Are y'all ready for some football? Let's go, Alabama. Football's almost here, folks. It is almost here. We can feel it. We can feel it. We can feel it. We can see it. Look, Keith Williams, we have a lot of new faces on the team. And that's what has a lot of you as the Alabama faithful excited. There are a lot of new guys on this team for you to learn. In the Nick Saban era, you kind of always had an idea of who the primary players were, right? Now, of course, there were a couple of new faces that you had to learn, that you had to get acquainted to. But more times than not, at least we all knew like the basic guys. We all knew the basic players. We all knew the usual people. This year's team, there are some guys that you know, your Jalen Milrose, your Justice Haynes, your Jam Millers, your Tyler Bookers, your Jaden Roberts, your Caden Proctors. There are guys that you know, but there are quite the amount of guys that you have to learn. So it's going to be fun here, fall camp, to learn a lot of these guys on this year's team. We're going to continue with comments. I think it went too fast there. We're going to continue with comments. Keith Holcomb giving us a roll tide, y'all. Appreciate you, Keith. Appreciate you, Keith. Don Parker writes in, I used to live in Germany, so I had to learn how to follow it. Happy Spain won, though, but it was a very good match. France versus Portugal was never racking and went to penalties. So there you go right there. So Don is our guy. When you talk about the soccer aspect right there, once again, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I watch it. I watch it, man. It is fantastic. Christian Hughes writes in, Stephen M., do you know if Bama has a backup center? Because after last year, poor play snapping the ball, we need a solid starter and a possible backup. So the starter is Parker Brailsford at center. The backup is going to be Rock Montgomery. I think Rock Montgomery is the backup. The starter is Brailsford. The backup is Rock Montgomery. Now, I know we saw Joseph Ionata at that center position during spring practice, particularly the spring game. Ionata was not particularly comfortable there. He was recruited to be an offensive tackle. So I will say Brailsford, the starter at center, the backup, Rock Montgomery. He has taken some reps there at center before. So Rock Montgomery would be the backup. That's the answer to that one for you there, Christian. Lorenzo Anderson with a roll tide. Stephen roll tide to Lorenzo. Happy to have you in here. Keith Holcomb writes in, for the most part, these are young men that are unsure about what they really want to do, I guess, as far as on the field there, Keith. Enlighten us there, Keith, on what you're trying to say there. Definitely enlighten us there, Keith. Aaron McGuire with the Roll Tide Roll. Appreciate Aaron helping us out here on the show. Don Parker writes back in, I say Nets have real competition at left tackle. Proctor needs to earn our respect again. Well, you got Proctor versus Pritchett. Okay, Pritchett got all the first-team reps at left tackle during the spring while Proctor was at Iowa. So Pritchett got all the first-team reps there at left tackle. So it's still going to be those two, Pritchett and Proctor going at it. Whoever takes that spot, they take that spot where they are the starting left tackle. Coach Chris Kaplovich working with everybody, getting all the guys set to go, making sure all the guys are getting acclimated here. And like Coach Cap said, when Proctor came back, he started working with the twos, right? So with the ones was Pritchett, Proctor was with the twos. Now during the summer, they mix and match guys around. There's a lot of movement going on, trying to see, okay, which group of five constitutes as the best group of five on the field to start on the offensive line. So Proctor getting his feet wet coming back, right? But Pritchett throughout the spring started there at that left tackle position. Let's see here. We got Lorenzo Anderson once again. What up? Rise up. Doing that enough to Roll Tide and rise up there. Don Parker back with, I would have the best five on the O-line that executes blocks and knows who to block and pass pro and blitz pickup. I would also give Booker a shot at tackle. That's an interesting perspective there, DP. To give Tyler Booker a look at tackle. Play tackle in high school. You could give Booker a look at tackle. Maybe he could fit there, but really like what he brings as a guard perspective there. Keith Holcomb writes in to Don, Proctor's a kid, man. He probably never been out of Iowa. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that, Keith. I could see that. But once again, he's back now. The team, he's happy that he's back. He's happy that he's back. The coaching staff is happy that he's back. He's working his tail off. He's doing what he needs to do to try to earn a spot back there. Faith Thomas writes in fairness, as an Olympics baby, 1984, I'm only interested in the anthems. I don't know which doesn't include, strangely enough, because I know them, Finland, Germany, Italy, Ireland, Olympic baby. So we got Faith here into the Olympics as well. Let's see. We got Joseph Higginbottom writing in, I hope we pound the rock this year and play with our hair on fire. Bama's going to run the football. Jamarcus Shepard, Alabama's co-offensive coordinator, what did he say in a recent interview? We would be foolish not to run the football with the guys that Alabama has up front, but also with the running backs that Alabama has. We would be foolish not to run the football. So Chris Cap, Jamarcus Shepard, Caden DeBoer, they're going to want to run this football, have a balance with it. Yes, they're going to want to pass the ball as well. Jalen Milroe, getting the ball across the field to Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law, all the guys at the receiver position, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, but they're going to want to execute balance as well, running the football. We got Monica Petaway with the What's Up Bama Nation. Appreciate Monica helping us out there. Let's see here. Monica writing, Keith Holcomb writing back in. Let's see here. I hope we are so good, nobody knows what is coming. Look, Keith, you got nothing but talent here on this roster. You got nothing but coaches on the staff that want to prove themselves in the Southeastern Conference. This is going to be a very entertaining season right here. My main thing is going to be, this is my main thing, can Alabama offensively and defensively assert dominance each and every game from the opening kickoff? That's my main thing. The talent's there. The coaching is there. But from the moment you step off that bus, the moment you step off that plane, the moment you take that field, can Bama assert dominance. It don't matter who they line up against every single play of every single game. That's my main thing. Monica Petaway writes back in, I'm loving all the recruits coming in. DeBoer is doing awesome. The recruits are coming in left and right. Now I know Bama had a couple of guys to decommit as of late, but Alabama's clearing out space to get more of those five-star guys. Keep your eyes on Caleb Cunningham, Akeelan Deere, Justice Terry, among others. There are other guys coming. 5 stars are interested. That's what you keep your eye on. That's what you keep your eye on. Let's see if Monica Petaway writes back in. Any word on Jalen Hale? Hale is continuing to rehab his knee. He's attacking the rehab well, continuing to provide us with positive updates on his social media. We'll see at what point could he come back. We know that in the spring he suffered a significant knee injury, but he's been working tirelessly in this rehab. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're trying to see at what point in the season, if he's able to come back, does he come back? But he is in the rehab. He's attacking it well. He's hitting it well. That's positive news there when you look at Jalen Hale at wide receiver. Let's see here. Don Parker writing back in. One thing for sure, 2 things need to be fixed on the O-line. We can't give up sacks, and the snaps have to be clean. Bama can't give up sacks. You gave up 44 last year. Now, Don, some of that was Milroe holding the ball too long. He's got to get better with having the mental clock, the internal clock in his head. Let the ball go. You see the pocket collapsing around you? Make your decision. Whether you got a hot read you can get the ball to, or whether you're pulling the ball down, taking off and running, make that decision quickly. Not all of those 44 sacks are on the offensive line. Some of that was on Milroe holding the ball too long. Now, the rest of that, yes, on the offensive line. They got to clean that up. And number 2, snaps have to be better. Seth McLaughlin, he's now at Ohio State. That's their problem now. Parker Brailsford should be a whole lot better executing the snaps properly for Milroe to do his thing out there as a quarterback. There's that. We got Patrick Trotter with, hey, run the ball, man. Patrick Trotter saying, run the football. Run it. Run it. You got the Bags and Haynes, Miller, Richard Young, Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley. You got beef up front, offensive line, beef that can move. Run the football. So there's Patrick there giving you his honest opinion. Roll Tide and Rise Up writes in, I believe deeply that the offense will be explosive. 2 years under O'Brien and ever with Reese, we were predictable. So I think DeBoer, Jamarcus Shepard, and Nick Sheridan are going to have some different stuff. Bama's going to be explosive. Under Bill O'Brien for 2 years, you knew exactly what was coming. Tommy Reese, did the best he could, but you got to a point where with him, you knew exactly what was coming. Kang and DeBoer, Nick Sheridan, Jamarcus Shepard, you are not going to know what's coming. So they got some stuff they're going to pull. So this offense is going to be explosive. We may see 4 wide receiver sets. We may see 5 wide receiver sets. We may see 2 running backs flanking, a quarterback and a receiver coming them up. We don't know what we're going to see. We have no idea what we're going to see. And that's the excitement of the creativity DeBoer, Sheridan, and Jamarcus Shepard are going to have. We can look at here, James, we got my man James Knox. Roll Tide till I die, in my own words, TDA family. Happy 4th weekend. Boy, I miss Merritt Fireworks on Highway 52 in Malvern, Alabama, headed to Slocum. So, man, my man James missed the fireworks show. He missed the fireworks show. Hey, James, we got it on my end. We got number pure fireworks on my them fireworks sound like military artillery outside. We got the fireworks on our end, though, James. Happy, but hopefully everybody enjoyed 4th of July on yesterday. Monica Petaway writes in, could we also finally see a quarterback wild card package? Ooh, that could be something, Monica. Quarterback wild card package. That will be a question for me to bring up to King and DeBoer SEC Media Days. I will save this question, Monica, so that I can bring this to King and DeBoer at SEC Media Days. He may want to answer that question because that's a good one. Faith writes in, funny enough, I'm not a soccer fan, but I'm an Olympics fan. Thus, I know France, Germany, Italy, Ireland, Sweden, Greece, Belgium, the whole that watch Formula One. Hey, Faith, I'm not the biggest soccer fan either, but I do like the Olympics, though. Me, I like the basketball. Now, I do like the women's soccer team. I'm not the biggest fan of the whole thing, but I do like the women's soccer team. But I'm excited to watch the Olympics in Paris this year to see how it goes down. Don Parker writes in, no matter how explosive we think the offense should be, it will not function if the O-line doesn't block. That's the main thing. Offensive line has got to be at its best. O-line has got to be on it this year. They've got to be on it this year, and Chris Camp has to make sure they stay on it this year from start to finish. So it's getting closer, guys. August 31st, Bama takes on Western Kentucky in Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa. It's getting closer. Roll Tide and rise up. I went back and watched the 2023 season. So many stalled drives on penalties, bad snaps, and the O-line not blocking. You got to clean penalties. Bad snaps should be rectified with McLaughlin out of here. O-line blocking, the communication, being able to pass guys off properly, especially if there's a blitz coming. You got to be able to have all things working in order. Let's see here. Keith Williams writes in, what about Ty Simpson? Is he getting better? Ty's gotten a lot better. Mental clock sharper. Quick release. Getting the ball out on time. I mean, he's doing some things that he did in high school at Westview in Martin, Tennessee that made him a very special athlete. Ty Simpson is looking good. Been training this entire offseason with QB Country. Ty's looking great. Looking great. Hopefully nothing happens to Jalen Milroe. Hopefully nothing happens. But if something were to happen, I have nothing but full confidence in Ty Simpson to go out there and execute this offense. He's doing well. Jermaine Williams writes in, we have a new RPM for Hayward from a Texas Insider per on 3. Have not seen that one, Jermaine, but I will get that from our guy, Justin Smith here for TDA, our main recruiting guy. So going to definitely get that from Justin. Let's see. Christian Hughes writes in, Stephen M., from what you've seen so far, how is Bama's defensive line looking? Bama's defensive line is deep, Christian. Bama's got at least 12 guys, more than 12, but at least 12 guys that can rotate. They're 3 deep at every position on the defensive line. You got veteran guys, and it'll kind of be a D-line by committee type thing. Yes, you do have players with big potential. You talk Keon Keeley, James Smith. You got guys up front with big potential. Jordan Renard, watch him. He could be something very nice. Hunter Osborne could be something very nice. So you've got guys with big potential. Jeremiah Beeman can really be something. That kid's got some talent, but it'll be a lot of D-line by committee because of your older guys, T.M. Keenan, T.M. Smith, Jamarian Latham, Jaheim Otis, guys who have been here, for a minute. So defensive line, you got at least 12 guys. They're at least 12 deep here, across the board, across the table. So I'm excited. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts in here on the show. We're going to take a quick break here before we get to the second topic of conversation. But we're going to go right now. When we get back from break, we're going to get into the cornerback position. who takes over at the two cornerback spots, the defensive secondary. We'll get to that on the other side of the break. But right now, we get to our partners at Alumni Hall. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. Absolutely, folks. Get that gear right there, Alumni Hall. Our great partners in Tuscaloosa, Midtown Village. Appreciate them for all that they do. But you're rocking and rolling back from the break. Hottest show on the streets. Talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, coming to you from the home location on a Friday. Continue to smash the like button. Hit that thumbs up. Smash the like button. Get those like levels up. Hit that subscribe button as well. Make this your show, your spot, your network for all things Tide football. The daily Super Chat go $100. Daily Super Chat go $100 right there. We thank all of you, the Bama fans, for your support here. But beginning now, topic 2 of the conversation, battle at cornerback for Alabama. Who takes over both cornerback spots, both starting cornerback spots? And much like the offensive line, Bama's got marquee depth on the boundary at both corner positions. So you look at, you're replacing two guys who are now in the National Football League, Kool-Aid McKinstry with the New Orleans Saints, Terrion Arnold, first-round pick to the Detroit Lions. You are replacing both of those two young men. And who Alabama's got, you look at number one, Damani Jackson. I think Damani Jackson could end up taking one of these two cornerback spots. Now, I know people look at, well, Steven, he didn't have the best numbers at USC. I don't put that on Damani. I put that on Alex Grinch, who was the defensive coordinator for USC. Not the best DC in the world. Not the best DC, but by far, when you look at Alex Grinch, Damani is way better than that talent-wise and way better than that ability-wise. Jackson at 6'1", 190 pounds. We're talking about a 4-star when he came to USC from Mater Dei, the powerhouse Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana, California. Now, in his 2 years at USC, we're talking about through 18 games. We're looking at 28 tackles, 4 pass breakups, but a very high ceiling. He can be a lockdown corner. He can be a lockdown defender. He can be a marquee playmaker on the outside for Alabama secondary in the boundary. So I look at Damani Jackson. The other corner to me, Deshaun Jones, the transfer from Wake Forest. Now, he has the most experience of any guy on Alabama's roster, to be honest with you. Deshaun Jones played 3 years at Wake Forest. In those 3 seasons, we're talking about 61 tackles, 7 pass breakups, 3 career picks. And all 3 of those picks came a season ago. And Deshaun Jones at 6'1", or 6 feet, 181 pounds. You talk about great closing speed in terms of physicality, making crushing hits on wide receivers, running backs, popping guys. You want to discuss his ability to play the football in the air, defend, reroute receivers. He can play. Deshaun Jones can play. So those would be my two starting corners, Jackson and Jones. However, you look at other guys that will push in here. You got Cameron Howard from a small school, University of North Carolina at Charlotte. He's now at the Bama program. What does he do? You look at Jaleel Hurley, the lone holdover, scholarship holdover from the 2023 recruiting class at cornerback as a 5-star from Florence, Alabama. Then you got just a haul of freshmen, but primarily cornerbacks. You have Jalen Mbakwe, Xavier Mincy, and Xavier Brown. Xavier Mincy has the best size of the group at 6'3", 180 pounds from Florida. But Xavier Brown from California, 5-star, this is the best technique guy of the three. Freshman, the best technique guy. Now, Mbakwe is the most explosive guy of the group, but he's still learning that cornerback position. Keep in mind, at Clay Chalkfield, he played quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back, and return man. He did everything but sell hot dogs and beer for a Class 6A state champion in Clay Chalkfield High School. So, Mbakwe, I don't see him starting in the secondary right away. He'll get reps. So, absolutely, he'll get reps. I don't see him starting right away just because of the fact that, for me, I would have him starting first off on special teams. That type of speed, that type of explosiveness, that type of quickness, burst, I would put Mbakwe as a punt returner. I would start him right there and then have him work his way into being a part of a secondary. That's how I would do it. I would start Jalen Mbakwe off as a punt returner. But for me, I think the two starters would be Deshaun Jones at one corner and Damani Jackson as the other corner. But let's see if you guys, the Alabama Nation, agrees with me as we go to your questions right here, your thoughts right here in the chat line. We get to a few of these right here in the chat line. So you guys are already lighting this up here. Plow Joggers in here. Plow Jogger 1776 writes in, history has taught us that depth is really important for the secondary. Plow it has. You have depth. Alabama's got it. Now, for me, like I mentioned, I look at Deshaun Jones, Damani Jackson as the two starting corners on the outside because of their experience. But then you've got Cameron Howard. You've got Jaleel Hurley. You've got Xavier Brown, Xavier Mincy, Jalen Mbakwe. Then you look at guys like Drake Kirkpatrick Jr., Red Morgan. You've got different guys that can play, in the secondary. So you have depth. That depth is big time. Look, Keith Williams writes in, we have a crazy defensive line this year and next year. Defensive line, you got depth there too, and you got guys that can play. It's just this year for Freddie Roach, letting those guys loose off the chain and letting those guys hunt the quarterback. They're going to stop the run. These guys are going to stop the run. It's just letting them off the chain to go hunt the quarterback. That's the big thing. Stopping the run is not going to be a huge issue with this team. It's being able to win those one-on-one matchups, second and long, third and long, where it's time to pin your ears back and go drop the quarterback for a sack. That's my big thing right there. Can these guys be turned loose to pin their ears back and going after the quarterback's the main thing. GT18 writes in, rotate him into certain packages maybe. That's for Mbakwe. You can do that. You can rotate Mbakwe into certain packages. Third down if you want to run a dime look and rotate him in there. You can do that. You can do that. Let's see. GT18 writes back in, linebackers should be solid. Linebackers will be solid. Your inside guys, you got Deontay Lawson, Jihad Campbell. Campbell's going to have one heck of a season. Behind those two, you got Jeremiah Alexander. You've got Sterling Dixon. You got Justin Okonrokwo. You got Justin Jefferson. You got dudes on the outside. There's Quandarius Robinson. There's Keanu Coote. There's you got Quandarius Robinson, Keanu Coote. You got Keon Keeley, who can play on the outside and on the defensive line. You got Yancey Pierre, that can ball. So you got guys. I mean, you got guys. Keith Holcomb writes in, and don't drop your best pass rushers in the coverage. Like, Keith, I know you still got some PTSD from Pete Golding. Keith, I know you still got some PTSD from Pete Golding. Him dropping Will Anderson. I still don't understand what possessed Pete Golding to drop Will Anderson back in the cup. Now, Kane Womack ain't going to do that. Kane Womack is not going to do that. He's going to have these pass rushers get after the quarterback. So, Keith, don't worry about that. We will not have another Golding situation where you have this elite edge rusher and he's being forced to be dropping back in the coverage. You don't have to worry about that, Keith. That PTSD is gone, Keith. That PTSD of Pete Golding, bro, is gone. You don't got to worry about that with Kane Womack. Let's see here. Monica Petaway writes in, I know injuries happen, but I hope they're able to stay healthy and fresh. Monica, that's the main thing when you talk about a 12-team college football playoff this year, is keeping guys healthy, right? You got to keep guys healthy, across the board. And that's why you're going to have to play your backups. You're going to have to play your backups. That's why you have all of this depth here at Alabama at each position, because the backups know they have to play. Third stringers, they know they have to play at some point. Injuries are inevitable. Hopefully, Dave Ballou can keep this team healthy, and at least the majority of guys that we are depending on to be impactful, hopefully Coach Ballou can keep these guys healthy and on the field. I agree with that, Monica. I agree with that. GT18 writes in, lots of depth. Some of those guys can move into the Jack DN type position and put pressure on the quarterback. I think will be very multiple at linebacker. Bama should be able to rotate multiple guys. Should be able to rotate several guys and create several packages to get all of these monsters on the field. That's the main thing. You got several guys, right? But Alabama should also be able to have several packages created to have these monsters out there to where it's not just the same one or two guys getting it done out there. Create multiple packages where several players have a chance to get on the field, show their skill set, provide what they can do as far as enhancing this defense. That's how I see it. That's just how I see it. Let's see here. Let's get to some more thoughts here, some more comments here. Back to GT18 up here. Glad you brought up Jackson, Stephen. Very interested in seeing how he has adapted to Bama, especially big things. Damani wanted this type of culture. He wanted the tough, in-your-face, hard-nosed, work-hard culture. Damani Jackson wanted this, y'all. He wanted this, and now he's got it. So how does he mature in this culture for Alabama? It's going to be the big question. How does he mature in this culture? How does he play with the lights at their brightest, with him on that boundary? Because I see him as one of those boundary guys. We will see, though. Don Parker writes in, I understand the concern about the secondary, but an effective pass rush will help the secondary. Have to put pressure on opposing quarterbacks to help out the secondary. You have to. Alabama's got to have those dogs up front affecting the opposing passing game. At the very least, collapse the pocket and knock the ball down if you're a big man up front. If you can't get the sack, if you can't get to the quarterback, at least affect the passing lane. That's all we ask for. If you can't get to the quarterback, at the very least, get that pass breakup and affect the passing lane. But you have to have that pressure. Absolutely. Don Parker, I agree with that. You have to have that pressure. Let's see here. From Davis, yes, fall camp begins July 31st. July 31st is fall camp. July 30th, the players report to fall camp. So, Keith, fall camp starts the 31st of July. The players report to camp on July 30th. On July 30th, the players report to camp. So, that's that right there. Let's see. Let's get some more thoughts here. Here we go. Faith writes in, don't sleep on the Hilltoppers, y'all. They may be the Mid-American, but even sweet cupcakes can cause a toothache. Faith, good point. Faith, good point. Now, Faith is taking us all back to Nick Saban. You don't underestimate anybody. Western Kentucky, they're going to walk in here, wanting to pass the football, do some different things, but I think Kalen DeBoer is not going to take Western Kentucky lightly. I think this entire team is not going to take Western Kentucky lightly. It should be a good matchup. Should be a good matchup. Alabama should be able to go out there, though, and handle business there against Western Kentucky. Appreciate everybody here in the chat line getting your thoughts in on today's show. This has been outstanding. Let's see. Keith Holcomb. Let's get this thought here from Keith. Hopefully, all the kicker has to do is make extra points. Now, I like the kicker Bama brought in to be the successor to Will Riker, Graham Nicholson from the University of Miami at Ohio, won the Lou Groza Award last year. He did make, 25 of 27 field goals. He did make all of his extra points a season ago. So, there will be some moments where Bama may have to look at him to kick a field goal, to kick some field goals to make them. But I definitely want to see this offense put more touchdowns here on the board. Jordan Bradley writes in, any update on Jalen Hale? We got this question earlier. Hale is doing well in the rehab right now, Jordan. He is attacking the rehab. Now, when could Bama see him this season upcoming? We don't know as of yet. Hopefully, at some point, maybe early in the season, you could have him, but that'll be a question for once fall camp gets here, or possibly at SEC Media Days. That'll be a question to ask Kagan DeBoer. That'll be a good question to ask Coach DeBoer there, is when could we see Jalen Hale back on the field there? But good thought that come from Jordan. Appreciate all of you guys helping us out here on the show this evening. We quickly get to the final topic of conversation to wrap things up. Does Alabama have a clear-cut number one receiver? The final topic of discussion here. And to me, that's another position group where we got to see the cream rise to the top, right? We got to see the cream rise at wide receiver. Now, Kobe Prentice has the most Bama experience as far as marquee production. Prentice does. But Kendrick Long, Emmanuel Henderson, Cole Adams, and guys like that you add, Jared Hamilton, you got Jeremy Bernard for transfer, Ryan Williams, a freshman in here, Bubba Hampton, a freshman, Amari Jefferson, a freshman, Caleb Odom, a freshman. Here are guys that don't have that experience. So this wide receiver room has a chance to be insanely good, but it's going to be intriguing to see who becomes the clear-cut number one guy. Because Prentice can ball, Kendrick Law, you got to utilize him. Emmanuel Henderson can play. Cole Adams showed me this past spring he's ready. Caleb Odom can play. Ryan Williams, everybody saw him in high school. So excited to see what can he provide. Bubba Hampton, I go back to spring. Kobe Prentice talked about Bubba's got some routes on him. You got to look at him. Amari Jefferson can play. This wide receiver room is about who on it. Jamarcus Shepard talks about being takers, going out there, taking that ball, taking what's yours, taking the big play, taking the opportunity. Which wide receiver emerges to that taker status too, he builds that continuity with Jalen Milroe to be that guy Milroe trusts as the number one weapon out there. This is going to be fun here to look at this Alabama wide receiver room because the talent's there. You got playmakers all over the field, right? But who emerges as that number one name? Man, that's gonna be outstanding. Who takes over as that number one name? I think it could be Prentice. I think Prentice could take over as that number one name, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's Jeremy Bernard. I wouldn't be shocked if Ryan Williams comes out of if Ryan Williams just takes everybody's cookies. I wouldn't be shocked if Ryan Williams takes everybody's cookies. That wouldn't shock me one bit. But this is why July 31st, fall camp, cannot get here enough. Can't get here enough, man. Pumped up for fall camp. But as always, folks, you want the best in news, notes, information, coverage on your favorite program, that being the Alabama Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone for your audio needs, folks. Check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit, people. I'll try to be back in studio in Birmingham on Monday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. Continue, Bama Nation, to subscribe to TouchdownAlabama.com. That's TouchdownAlabama.com. We got you right there. All things recruiting, freshman recruiting, transfer portal recruiting. We got you where the current team is concerned. The coaching staff, the roster, we're taking care of you right there. Fall camp coming up July 31st. We got you right there. SEC Media Days the next couple of weeks. We got you right there as well. And then Bama in the National Football League. We're taking care of you there also. TouchdownAlabama.com. You hit that subscribe button today. You have all your news there in the palm of your hands. Gotta shout out all of you, the Bama Nation, for rocking out with me today in the chat line. Appreciate all of you guys showing love, being energetic, showing your enthusiasm for your Tide. And till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. They're enjoying the weekend here. Get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening, watching, in my own words. See you guys next week.